Hey guys, it's me. I'm just getting a good seat here. I hope you guys can see me. Alright. I don't know if you guys can see me. It's kind of a bad lighting here. Let's see here. Maybe I'll just hold it. Alright. How's everybody this evening? It's 7:15. Hey Sheena. It is Thursday. It's crap outside. So we're just hanging inside. This is my gym. This is kind of where I do when I don't go to the real gym. This is where I hang out. So while this is all loading and stuff like that, just kind of wanted to introduce what we're talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about fad diets, cleanses, detoxes, all the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Hey, hon. All the stuff that's so confusing. And I just want to try and simplify things a little bit for you guys. And if you have comments or questions, please make sure that you're chiming in here. All right? But it's just going to have to do. So maybe I should just move this up a little bit. I'm just going to start with just some basic stuff about the word diet, right? We get pretty wrapped up in that word, and there's big business surrounding this, right? The word diet often invokes a certain response, usually an emotional response for most of us, especially if you're a little bit, you're maybe in your late 20s, 30s, early 40s, 50s, whatever. You've definitely tried some sort of a diet, and I just want to talk about what that word actually means, okay? So a diet, for most of us, right, is around, this light is driving me crazy. I'll just sit on the floor. A diet, this is not getting better. Jesus. Sorry, guys. Yeah. How's that? Is that okay? All right. So a diet is not, we have an idea that it's 2 weeks. Maybe 10 days, 7 days, 3 days, whatever, right? So usually when we think diet, or what we've been told about diet, is a very short period of time. And we have high expectations for these diets that we buy into, we try to educate ourselves on those kinds of things. And most of the time, the end result is disappointment. And I guess I'm guessing most of you can really attest to this because it's happened to me. You have all these expectations. You want 2 weeks, you want to lose 20 pounds and gain some lean muscle and all of these kinds of things. You want to lose inches and feel great, have tons of energy. And I'm here to tell you that that's really a really terrible expectation. Diets need to be sustainable, and diet really means something that you just follow, the type of eating that you do, all right? And it really shouldn't be contained in a certain period of time. You might have goals that you would like to attain in a certain period of time, absolutely, but our expectations for some of these really crazy fad diets and stuff like that are kind of ridiculous. Okay, so so I just wanted to really emphasize the fact that diet means something to some people and something to other people. I'm here to tell you that this diet to me means something sustainable, lifetime sustainable, okay? So I'm not talking about like the crazy ones, like the things that you pay monthly for. So Herbalife, Shakeology, Isogenics, there's so many. And I'm not bashing them by any means, but again, we've talked about this in the past. Are any of these things actually sustainable to, like, financially? Do they make sense for your health? And is this something that you're going to continue purchasing and eating and using for the next 3 years of your life? And I think that that's something that you should really think of, at least in the next 18 months of your life, okay? Because your body, no matter what you do, no matter what diet you follow, at the end of the day, it needs to be consistent, okay? It doesn't really matter if you follow the Fit Body 48-hour fat loss, if you follow keto, if you're paleo, if you're vegetarian or vegan, maybe you're a raw foodist. It doesn't really matter, guys. If you are consistent, your body adapts. And any diet will tell you that. Any long-term diet is going to tell you that. The trick for a lot of us is the consistency and finding something that's going to work with our current lifestyle. It's taken me till now to figure out what I really like, but you know what? 10 years ago, my life was very different. And I adopted a very different lifestyle of eating, and it wasn't sustainable for me, obviously, to this point in my life. So I had to make some adaptations and listen to my body too. I mean, education is key. And that's where we get really confused about a lot of things that are happening, because we have all these shows, the doctors, the Dr. Oz show, Oprah, we have all these weight loss fads and things like that. And who the hell knows what to actually listen to anymore, right? Like, that's very frustrating. And I totally understand when people are coming in and they have just basically tried everything. And again, it comes down to being consistent. If you don't see results in 7 days, because of our culture and the way that we are very impatient, we want results like that because that's what they promised us on TV, and you quit, and then you start something else. And then the yo-yo dieting and all that kind of stuff begins, right? And it starts to play with your head. And it becomes sort of a lifestyle thing. There are a lot of people out there, and a lot of you can really attest to this, that you've tried probably 7 or 8 diets, but you never really stuck with it. If you did, chances are it was like the 21-day fix or something like that. And guys, you need to pick something that's going to be sustainable. Think 18 months, okay? Minimum, okay? That this is something that you should have in your lifestyle. This is something you can follow every single day of your life. On the weekends when you go on a barbecue or you go on vacation, it should be something that you can at least maintain throughout this time, right? So we all kind of do this, right? It's like, oh, well, I'm going to be consistent for 10 days. And then it's like, oh, crap, I'm going to have some pizza tonight. And then that goes out the window, and then you start all over again, right? We all do it. I do it. I know that, okay? But again, at the end of the day, it's not the diet, it's us, all right? Your diet's probably just fine. As long as the main things to be concerned about are blood sugar levels, if you have any food sensitivities, if you are celiac, if you're diabetic, all of those things, if you're hypothyroid or hyperthyroid, all those things are obviously going to be considered when you're choosing a certain diet. But if you don't have any of those kinds of things to consider, it is worth exploring and doing a little bit of reading before just jumping on the latest bandwagon, right? So, excuse me, as you guys all know, I follow a ketogenic diet. And it's kind of funny because I started just about a year and a half ago, and I'm totally not consistent all the time. Like, I do a lot of carb ups and stuff, and really bad timing sometimes like that. But again, I'm kind of in summer mode right now, so I'm not really committed to anything. It's just a style of eating that I really enjoy. But I have really noticed that, and I know Facebook is pretty cool for this, it's very intuitive, but there's so much about keto that's coming out right now, and it's like the latest thing. Even though keto has been around for many, 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 many years, it's just sort of catching on. And I can kind of attest to many reasons why it would be catching on. For somebody like me who has a lot of inflammation in their body, I have really bad IBS, so I have a lot of overproduction of acid in my tummy, things like that. And keto actually eliminates inflammation in your body because there's no sugar. Paleo is the same way. So those are kinds of things to consider when you're choosing a lifestyle choice of the way you want to eat. Now, when you come into Fit Body, we usually recommend our 48-hour fat loss. 48-hour fat loss is a little bit, it's got kind of mixed signals there. You're not going to lose anything in 48 hours. It's just the amount of time that it's going to take for adjustments, things like that. All right. Let's just use it as that's what we call it. Okay. So 48-hour fat loss, we use a 50, 30, 20 macronutrient split, which for most people is just fine. because our bodies run on carbohydrates or glycogen, right? So you need that sugar in your body in order for it to run on those kinds of fuel. Paleo and keto use more of a high fat diet, and your fat is actually what you're using for your fuel, and you trade that fuel source. There's a lot of science that goes behind this. Again, if this is something that you're interested in, absolutely, but do your research. Don't just listen to your buddy over at work who just lost 70 pounds because he has been eating bacon every day. Okay, it's not just that simple. No diet is that simple. All right, again, consistency. It comes down to being consistent, tracking your food every single day. I'm a creature of habit. I eat the same friggin' thing pretty much every day except for the weekends. That's usually where I fall off track, mind you, because I'm one of those people where it's like, oh my God, I was perfect for 6 days, blah, blah, blah. I deserve a carb up, which is just crap. It's just the stuff that we tell ourselves, right? And I know better. We all do, right? So don't blame the diet at the end of the day. If you've got your information, and I don't care, you can call me on this, from Dr. Oz, please turn your TV off, okay? Every other day, he's got some new weight loss thing, whether it's green coffee bean or raspberry ketones or whatever. Please understand, he's getting paid for this stuff, okay? These are products that you don't need in your life, okay? And I've talked a lot about supplementation, and there's certain things that, again, ask yourself, is this something that I need in my body every day? Is this something that I can afford on a regular basis? And how is this going to affect me long term? Okay, so again, like all of this crap, like coffee bean, whatever, all this stuff, does that really make sense? At the end of the day, it's just a magic pill, right? Magic pill. Just like fat burners. We talked with Jeff a couple of weeks ago regarding fat burners. There's a place for those kinds of things, but it's not sustainable. All right, so again, check your pocketbook, check your head. Do some research. Google is a wonderful tool. Don't just rely on dude that's been, like I said, eating bacon for 6 months or whatever. Okay, do the things that are going to make sense for you. It has to be sustainable for you and your family. I really preach to anybody who's starting on a weight loss journey to please, please, please try and include their family in their lifestyle choices, or at least make it somewhat so that you're not making separate meals, because you're not teaching your kids anything useful. You're just giving them more things to worry about. I've had so many people come to me, well, I make all of this. I'm eating chicken and broccoli and rice. And, meanwhile, my kids are eating pizza. And my daughter is always asking, well, how come mommy's food is different than mine? Well, because it is. You're not teaching them anything. You're teaching them that it's okay for them to have junk food and crap food. Meanwhile, you're suffering eating chicken, broccoli, and rice. What are you teaching them? Health sucks. You hate it. And don't get me wrong. If you love chicken and broccoli and stuff like that, go for it. It's probably the best thing you can have. But not all of us really enjoy that 5 days a week, right? We can all probably attest to that kind of stuff. But so think about those kinds of things. Think about the impact that you're having on your family, on the people around you, right? So again, like, I keep using the bacon thing, but just because it's such a keto thing that everybody's so excited they can eat bacon. Quite honestly, I haven't had bacon in like 4 months. It's gross. I do not enjoy it. It's not what I eat. But again, like doing your research, and I've really done a ton of research this last year on the ketogenic diet. And I'm learning every single day because it's important to me. It's important for myself to educate others, to educate my family, and to have a life sustainable diet that's going to be healthful and it's going to make sense for my lifestyle. So those are the kinds of things that you guys really need to consider. Again, like the cleanses, the detoxes. Guys, I'm here to tell you, it's just really expensive toilet water you're making. Your body does a great job of detoxing. Unless you have a kidney or a liver dysfunction, that's what those organs are there for. Spending your money on all these detoxes or cleanses is very, first of all, it's very invasive. It's very hard on your system. I'm not going to say things like healthful juice cleanses can be very, very helpful for maybe a 24-hour period. I would not ever suggest more than 36 hours of just juicing. For one thing, it does actually give your digestive system a bit of a break. And you can do a little bit of research on that if you like. There's a lot of opinions on that. But at the end of the day, it's just a lot less processing. But it doesn't alleviate weight gain or weight loss, okay? You're going to do it for 36 hours. You're going to probably eliminate a lot of waste just because that's the only thing that's going through you. There's not a lot of fiber. You have to keep that in mind. Unless you're doing smoothies, juices do not have fiber in them. So it's just basically the nutrients that are going through your body. Whether your body absorbs them or not depends on how your body actually functions, okay? So please stay away from the cleanses and the detoxes because, again, most of the time they're very, very invasive. If you're looking for something like a colon cleanse, things like that, there's some very healthy ways of doing that through food, increasing your fiber, of course your veggies, and even your fruits, certain types of fruits, those kinds of things will definitely help with the colon cleanses and things like that. If you are feeling very bunged up or whatever, you're just not having regular bowel movements, this is probably a lot that has to do with how much water and those kinds of things you're ingesting. If it's not that case, then I would definitely talk to your doctor or maybe even a nutritionist, because doctors, not to knock doctors are wonderful people, but guys, you know what, they have literally, if it's a general practicing doctor, they have one semester, one class of nutrition, and it's usually within the first 2 years of their education. So if your doctor has been practicing for more than 5 or 6 years, their nutrition education is probably not up to par unless they do this on their own. All right. And again, that's something that you and your doctor can definitely discuss. But maybe just asking for a referral for a nutritionist, those kinds of things. Kathy, eating bacon. Being active is my solution. Yeah. I know a few nutritionists. I am going to be interviewing a lovely lady that I used to work with. Her name is Heather Mowat, and she actually works for spud.ca. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm going to be providing you guys some information in this next little while. Heather's actually a holistic nutritionist. She's one of the sweetest girls I've ever met. And so she really works with not just the basics of nutrition. She talks about like the way that food functions with you, the way that you react to it, your emotions, all of those kinds of things. And holistic nutritionists believe that food is medicine. So they're going to be more apt to prescribe a certain type of diet or food for you after they've done a certain period of tests. Nutritionists usually do elimination diets, things like that. Is a lot lengthier. I believe nutritionists are actually covered by Alberta Healthcare. Holistic, as far as I know, is not. So it's kind of frustrating because really the holistic makes a lot more sense for most of us, right? So let's see. So we've gone through everything. We've gone through a few fads. I don't want to go like target certain diets or anything like that. Like there's some pretty crazy stuff out there, guys. Like the most recent one that I found out was like the snake diet, and you literally don't eat for like a week. Oh, okay, really? Like, again, I'm not knocking it. I'm not a nutritionist, but if anybody seriously thinks that it's healthy to not eat for 36 to 72 hours on a regular basis, has some screws loose. I'm sorry. Okay, again, my opinion. Just my opinion, but that's insane, all right? And it goes to, like, and then people will be like, well, what about intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is very different. I do intermittent fasting, mostly because I eat very, very late at night, but then I don't usually eat until about 2 or 3 the next day, and I found that it actually really works well for me with keto, and just because I am not a breakfast eater, never have been, it was always sort of... it was a horrible thing for me. I hated breakfast. It would make me sick. So I found some really cool stuff that's really worked for me over the years. But you know what? There's no cookie cutter diet for everyone. You know, like I said, we start you guys out on 48-hour fat loss. for probably 70% of people, it works perfectly because they're consistent. Okay? So consistency, I don't give a crap what you say, what diet you're following, if you're consistent. More than 5 days, all right? I'm talking like 2-3 weeks, a month, sticking with something, tracking every day, figuring out where your macros are, depending on what your diet asks for. Those are all really important things. All right. So we are going to do a giveaway, and I realized that my shaker cup is in the dishwasher and I didn't have any extras. So we're going to have the Supergirl cup giveaway, or if you prefer the Superman cup, of course. So blue or red, or pink and red and yellow, or something like that. But the question that I have is, what does a diet have to be in order to work? So if there's anybody that can answer that, that would be awesome. If nobody can answer the question, you're going to have to tag me and make sure that you answer the question later. So again, the question is, what does a diet have to be in order to work? And I've said it like a million times throughout this. No, close, sustainable, absolutely. But I just finished saying it. What does a diet have to be in order to work? What do you have to do or be in order for this diet to work? Regardless of what you're doing. Sustainable, yes. It's not what I'm looking for. Anyone? Oh, come on. Kylie, come on. You can do it. Damn it. Consistent. Yes, Lisa, you got it. Your diet has to be consistent. Crystal, 2 seconds too late. But yeah, so consistent. All right. So I'm going to include a couple links for spud.ca just because I'm going to be building that up. On Tuesday, I'm going to be talking to Rosalind Fung. So we're going to be talking to Holistic Body Love, Rosalind Fung, Tuesday morning. This weekend, we have Customer Appreciation on 7 o'clock, Gateway Lanes. If you have not RSVP'd, I think it's kind of too late, but if you have, I'll be there. I believe Rick's going to be coming with me, so if you haven't met him, he's going to be there. And, oh, that's the other thing. I belong to a rescue. You guys see all my crazy dogs all the time. They're having a family reunion as well as a fundraiser this weekend. I'll include the details in the links above. So if you guys have any interest in that, I think we're going to probably try and bring Lola. I don't think we'll bring Loki just because he's Loki. But yeah, so if you guys are interested in doing that or coming out, please let us know. Aside from that, guys, I'm going to sign off here. I think I've got some keto chicken cordon bleu cooking upstairs. But yeah, so congratulations, Lisa. Come see me tomorrow or Friday, okay? Or just whenever, and just remind me. So you can just let me know if you want a pink or a blue shaker cup, okay? So congratulations, Lisa. Crystal, so close. Really, next time, right? Hey, Kelsey. And thanks, Kath, for all of your comments, hon. And Kylie, great job. All right, so I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. We're doing Deadly 7 tomorrow night. I'm teaching Saturday morning. We're going to do 500 or 1,000 reps. So hopefully I get to see a lot of you in the next couple days. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you when I see you. Good night.